In our last investigation, we exposed how the phrase "built for the future" has become the biggest lie in the automotive industry. We showed you how the EV boom has produced a generation of overpriced, software-dependent machines that leave their owners stranded on the highway, waiting 6 months for a back-ordered part that should never have failed in the first place. The comment section exploded. Thousands of frustrated drivers asking the same question. If half of these electric cars are full of cheap charging hardware, bad software, and planned obsolescence disguised as innovation, which ones are actually worth your money? Are there any EVs that will still be running in 15 years, or are we just trading one disposable vehicle for another? Today, we are answering that question. We have compiled the Electric Forever list. These are the 3 specific electric cars that have refused to be garbage. They are not the flashiest, they do not have the most futuristic dashboard or the most aggressive marketing campaign, but they have one thing in common. The data backs them up. The owners back them up, and the batteries are still holding charge after hundreds of thousands of miles. Here is the mechanic's whitelist for the electric age. Number 1 on the list, the one that started it all. If you walk into any EV conversation today, someone is going to mention Tesla. And your instinct might be to roll your eyes. There have been panel gaps, build quality complaints, and a company culture that seemed to treat fit and finish as optional. Those criticisms were valid, but here is the uncomfortable truth that the skeptics do not want to accept. The Tesla Model 3 has more real-world long-term data behind it than any other electric car on the planet, and that data tells a compelling story. A Tesla Model 3 used as a taxi with 217,500 miles on the clock still retained 88.5% battery capacity and over 300 miles of real-world range. That is not a marketing statistic. That is a car with more miles than the average American drives in 16 years, and the battery is still intact. Tesla's own data, drawn from a massive fleet sample in its impact report, shows average battery retention comfortably above 80% at 200,000 miles. According to IC Cars, the 2025 Tesla Model 3 holds a class-leading 7.2 out of 10 reliability score among family EVs, alongside a 10 out of 10 for safety. Critics will say the interior is cheap. They will say the build quality is inconsistent. They are not entirely wrong. But while other manufacturers are still figuring out how to keep a charging port door from falling off, long-term Model 3 owners report completely reliable, durable experiences over 4 years and tens of thousands of miles, with almost no unscheduled repairs. The real reason the Model 3 makes this list is not the software or the supercharger network, it's the drivetrain. Tesla has been building the same core electric motor architecture longer than almost anyone else. The bugs have been found, the fixes have been pushed over the air, and the battery management system has been refined across millions of real-world miles. Tesla backs the Model 3 with an 8-year, 120,000-mile warranty on the drive system, guaranteeing at least 70% battery capacity retention for the duration. That is the quiet confidence of a company that has already seen what its cars look like at 200,000 miles and is not afraid of the answer. Number 2. The engineer's choice. Most people buying a BMW are buying a status symbol. They want the badge, they want the driving position, they want the looks. That is fine. But there is a small group of people who buy a BMW because they actually read the engineering specs, and those people have been quietly pointing at the same car for the past 3 years. The BMW i4. The BMW i4 consistently tops Consumer Reports-based reliability rankings for EVs, with scores reaching into the 80s in some 2025 rankings. That is not a minor achievement in a segment where the average electric vehicle still has 42% more problems than a comparable gas car. The reason the i4 belongs on this list is not glamour, it is architecture. The i4 rides on BMW's CLAR platform, shared with the gasoline 4 Series. The suspension, body structure, and most interior hardware are mature, high-volume components with few systemic failures on record. BMW did not build the i4 on an experimental skateboard platform rushed to market to chase Tesla headlines. They took a proven, well-sorted vehicle architecture and dropped a 5th-generation electric drivetrain into it. That conservatism is exactly what you want when you are planning to own something for a decade. Real owner data from high-mileage i4s shows battery degradation of roughly 3.5 to 4% after 30,000 miles, and one owner with 72,000 miles on the clock measured only about 8% total degradation. For an electric car, that is a very good number. Critics will say the charging port door sticks, they will say the infotainment throws occasional software tantrums. They are right. Most i4 owner complaints cluster around charging hardware quirks and software glitches. Annoying, but rarely catastrophic. BMW pushes fixes. The core drivetrain keeps running. BMW backs the battery with an 8-year, 100,000-mile warranty, guaranteeing at least 70% of original capacity. For a car built on proven bones with conservative engineering and real-world reliability data to support the claim, the i4 is the electric car you buy when you actually intend to keep it. Number 3. The sleeper. Nobody is putting a Nissan Leaf poster on their wall. It does not have the cult following of a Tesla. It does not have the German engineering pedigree of a BMW. What it has is something more valuable than either of those things. It has 14 years of production data. It has hundreds of thousands of cars on the road, and it has an ownership track record that the industry's flashy newcomers cannot touch. The original Leaf launched in 2010. That means there are Leafs on the road that are now 15 years old and still running daily. Early models had well-documented battery degradation issues in hot climates. Nissan's first-generation packs had no active thermal management, and owners in Arizona and Phoenix paid the price. Nissan listened. They fixed it. Every Leaf built since 2018 has proper battery temperature management. The Nissan Leaf has capitalized on 14 years of trouble-free ownership experience, earning it a top reliability ranking in independent surveys. IC Cars ranks the Nissan Leaf as the second most reliable electric car overall, with a 7.1 out of 10 score based on an analysis of over 312 million vehicles. The Leaf is not exciting. It does not charge at 800 volts. It will not win a drag race. But here is what it will do. It will start every morning. It will cost you almost nothing to maintain. It will not need a $600 12-volt battery replacement because some obscure integrated charging control unit quietly fried itself at 15,000 miles. The Leaf's simplicity is not a weakness. It is a feature. You are not buying it for the weekend. You are buying it for the decade. Here is the verdict. The EV industry has a problem. Too many manufacturers rushed electric platforms to market before the engineering was sorted, loaded them with touchscreens and gimmicks, and sold them to buyers who trusted the hype. Those buyers are now learning what planned obsolescence looks like in an electric car. It looks like a charging unit that fails 3 times in 1 year and sits on backorder for 4 months. It looks like a software update that breaks your level 2 charging for 5 months. It looks like a $50,000 car that you cannot trust on a long highway drive. The 3 cars on this list share one thing. They have been stress-tested by time, by miles, or by the kind of large-scale real-world data that marketing brochures cannot fake. The Tesla Model 3 has the mileage records. The BMW i4 has the engineering foundations. The Nissan Leaf has the decades. None of them are perfect. All of them are honest. Stop buying the hype. Stop buying the touchscreen. Buy the battery that still works at 200,000 miles. Buy the platform that was already proven before it went electric. Buy the car that has been boring people reliably for 15 years. In a world of disposable vehicles, boring and reliable is the most rebellious thing you can own.